Well, I got something I need for everybody to hear.
Well, hold on a second. Hey, Nate.
Well, I can tell you a little something that a little gal that I think a whole lot of told me this morning. I was talking to her, and she said, "I hear you and my brothers are supposed to go back and make a little more tapes today." And she said, "I want you to tell him one thing." I said, "What's that, Courtney?" And she said, "That you like me better than you do anybody else." And I said, "Well," I said, what do you think Christopher will think if I say something like that, you know?" She, "That's what I'm talking about."
That's funny.
She,
That's real funny. Because, I mean, you know, and I think Belinda knew too, but as far as Nana's favorite, who was Nana's favorite?
yeah, who?
Who was Nana's favorite?
Nana's favorite of the kids?
The grandkids, yeah.
She loved every one of
Well,
them.
I
I don't know
that.
who her favorite.
Well, now, come on now.
She
You
thought
don't know
a
who
lot,
the
she
favorite
thought a lot
was?
of you. She thought a lot of Courtney. She thought a lot of Jordan and every one of them.
I know she did. I was just trying to instigate a good...
I never did hear her say.
She told me at one time, she said,
That was-
"Christopher, you are the favorite, just so you know, you're my
Okay,
favorite."
well,
She did, she told
that
me.
was personal between you and her.
But yeah, Courtney and I talked about it. I've talked to most of our family members about it. And they're all excited because, you know, this is your story getting to keep going. So what's cool is like, there's a lot of stories I've heard. But one thing I know about you, I'll take this the wrong way, but you don't mind telling the story a couple times.
I don't mind what.
Telling the story a couple times. Dad will get the humor in that joke.
Yeah,
Repeating
Well,
the story is what I was making a joke about, but
yeah.
so here's what I'll say. We'll make it a little bit easier. Tell me about, there's a lot of people that were curious about your military history. So tell me about what kind of led up to your mindset before you joined the military, what kind of happened, what it was like, all of that. I know where you're going with this next statement.
I didn't really join.
Okay.
My people in the community decided I needed to go to war and help my family.
So you got voted out by like a jury? You were in front of a judge and got in trouble? Or what happened?
No, you get your little card through the mailbox. You've been selected to go to the aid of your country. That was during the Korean War.
You got drafted.
Yeah, I got drafted.
So where were you at when you got that draft card? You remember?
Yeah, we lived at White Mound out there in the country.
Yeah.
Farmed, we had 210 acres, I think.
Y'all was
We row crop, biggest part of it.
working the halves on?
Huh?
That you're working halves on?
Yeah, I worked for the Hayes.
So you walked out to the mailbox and got the mail, or your mom got it,
No,
or someone else got
I'd
it?
ride my horse, or somebody be going to the store to pick up something, you know, and stop in the mailbox to get the mail.
Was the mailbox a pretty good ways away from the house?
Yeah, a mile.
A mile?
1 mile.
The mailbox was a mile from the house.
Right.
Did you ever get in trouble and have to go get the mail?
No, not really.
Okay, so when you got the letter, it was given to you. Someone else had already got it and brought it to the house.
It was in the mailbox. You have been selected
And
by
you
your community to go to the aid of your country. And
You opened the mailbox and got it out?
yeah,
Okay, so you was the first one to see it. You opened the mailbox, you pulled it
right.
out,
I
you
saw
read
it before anybody else.
You read it, you read all the way through. What's the first thought that you have?
Well, really, I didn't feel bad about it because some of my buddies had already gone.
Yeah.
And I decided, well, you know, if they can do it, I can do it.
People you grew up with was already drafted?
Yeah. So I really got lucky. I mean, we went through 16 weeks of basics. Part of infantry the first 8 weeks, artillery the second 8 weeks. And the last week, we started on last week of training. We got a notice that they had North Korea and the United States had come to an agreement to stop the war. Yeah, well, I thought, well, that's a bunch of crap. A guy over there ain't gonna stop war till he gets all them Koreans killed.
Yeah.
And but anyway, they did. They called a truce, and they give everybody a 10-day furlough.
So out of basic, you
furlough.
mean? You got a 10-day furlough out of basic?
Yeah,
Okay, so pause here for just a second. Where'd you go to basic at?
El Paso.
So you went to school at El Paso. What was you remember the base name or fort or?
No, it's El Paso, you know.
Well, I'm just curious.
Went out in the boondocks most of the time.
Did y'all have drill instructors, I imagine, like the regular
See,
set?
that's back when they had guided missiles and all this kind of new equipment they were making to fight wars with.
Yeah.
And they sent us out there for bivouac, just a damn desert, all it was. And they had a bunch of different types of new planes and helicopters. They had helicopters out there and all that. And somebody had to stand guard every night. And I mean, I got to stand guard more than once. You're out in the middle of nowhere.
And where's this at? El Paso?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
And one night we was out there and it was a pretty weather. It gets hot out there in the daytime, and about 11, 12 o'clock at night it gets where it feels pretty good. And it's hard to stay awake when, I mean, you're on flat ground, you can see all the way around you. And I sat down there on a pile of stuff had piled up down there, and I'd get sleepy, and it was about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I kind of dozed back there and sleep, and I heard something real faintly. It sounded like a motor. I said, oh, okay. So I had my M1 rifle, and I woke up and I was watching. And I could see them lights flickering about half a mile or a mile from me. And I could hear people talking. And I just got real quiet, and I was laying up there behind that. They couldn't see me, but in fact, I seen them, and about 4 guys, officer and couple officers and a couple of GIs, weren't officers. So they thought, well, we'll probably find him up here asleep somewhere, you know, and all that. And I let them get up about, it wasn't more than 50 yards from me. And I hollered, halt, who's over there? boy perked up, and I said, "Come on up here." And they drove up there, and they said, "Well, we thought you'd be asleep." And I said, "Yeah, that's what I thought you thought." And they talked to me a few minutes. You're doing an excellent job. Keep up the good work. They took off, and I said, "I heard y'all in that Jeep a mile back." I said, "You wasn't fooling nobody."
Then that was actually during boot camp.
Yeah, that was during training.
So did you have the same set of drill instructors the entire time you was in boot camp? Or drill sergeants, whatever y'all called them?
No,
I don't know
not
what the Army
really.
does. I mean, the Marine Corps, we do it a certain way.
Yeah.
You knew some Marines back in the day, real quick. You knew some Marines back in the day, right?
Yeah. I mean, every day we'd walk 8 miles when I'd go through basic for military training on firing rifles and rifle range and all that. And we walked that 8 mile out there. Shot weapons all the way long. No telling how far you walk. And then we had to walk that 8 mile back. And I was probably one of the shortest guys, or shortest any of them in there. And there's probably at least 40 or 50 of us that go out to range. And some of them big guys would be going back, carrying that damn M1 rifle and a little bag you covers your back to, put some different stuff in it you might need for a cut or something you got. But anyway, this one little boy is about, I bet he is 6'1" or 2, and he was right in front of me. And we had a little path about that wide, and it had rocks sticking up about that high. And we'd walked about 5 miles heading back to camp. And I guess he really got tired. And he stumped his toe on one of them rocks and fell down there. And I thought he was knocked out. And of course, I run up there to him and asked him if he was all right, could I help him, and anything like that. And a sergeant or somebody walked up. "Soldier, get up. Get out. Go on, walk." And he said, "We'll take care of him." So he started coming to life, and just setting him up. So I went and joined the rest of the platoon.
So back in them days, were your drill sergeants or your drill instructors, were they real nice to you all the time? Talk to you real polite like?
Yeah.
They didn't yell at you? They didn't hit you at all?
No.
They didn't scream or cuss at you when you was in boot camp?
Oh, I had some of them screaming at me, but I never had nobody to hit me.
Okay. I was wondering what it was like back then.
Did you have that you was in the Marine, right?
Yeah.
You probably had a little tougher than I did.
Well, so this is a big argument between Marines and Army today. Which branch is the better branch, right? And it's a big joke. We all care about each other the same way. But it's a joke, right?
Well, Marines has had a reputation in a way for really being tough.
What was the Marine reputation that you knew back when you served in the Army? What was it like, that reputation then?
I wasn't really with too many Marines in my outfit.
What, did you know anything about what the Marine Corps was or what it represented when you served?
Just what I heard.
What'd you hear?
That it was tough.
It was tough?
Yeah.
What else did you hear?
I didn't hear too much about the Marines, so read till I've heard more since I got out of the Army than I did when I was there.
Who'd you hear it
Course.
from when you got out of the Army?
Well, there's a lot of people that got out of the Marines about the time I got out of the Army.
Yeah.
Because the war was over for the time.
Yeah.
And
Uncle Pete?
so a lot of the guys got out of the Marines too.
We had family members that were Marines, right?
Well, yeah.
One of them was a good friend of yours.
Yeah, we had some good times, we had some rough down times.
Yeah. Who's that?
Huh?
Who are you talking about? Rough times or good times?
Well, I'm talking about just to, having to make that 8-mile walk all right.
Oh, yeah, in boot
one
camp.
way.
Yeah, it sucked.
And then you work all day long, you doing bivouac.
It sucked.
Yeah, it's
We say embrace the suck in the Marine Corps. That's what we said when I was
Yeah.
in. Did y'all say something like that? Embrace the suck? The fun meters, 0?
Yeah, I heard that. It sucked many a time.
If it ain't raining, we ain't training.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever say those? What kind of things like that did y'all say?
I heard a lot of crap from guys that been in there for 8 or 10 years that got shipped from overseas back to El Paso to do some kind of training or helping out with things they had. And every one of them was wanting to go back overseas. And we got out of basic. Well, I was in a outfit with, that's them old boys that had been trying to go back overseas. I said, what do you want to go back overseas for? And they said, all this damn, just being messed with over here. He said, you don't have all that over there. I said, well, I'm pretty happy here in America.
When he said being messed with, he meant by people here? Because just their attitude
Yeah,
towards military?
we had a lot of training,
Oh, you mean peacetime army sucked? It sucked to be on base in America.
We had inspections. We had a lot of inspections.
So I know exactly what you mean. In the Marine Corps, what I was in, we call it peacetime Marine Corps. And that's the worst time ever because all you got to do is train, inspection, drill, train, inspect, all the practice and nothing but the practice, which after a while, stupid stuff happens.
Chris, I had a job it was probably a week or maybe longer. And my job was to try to, them 50 caliber machine guns, there's 6 of them, and they're mounted in the back of a 1.5 deuce. And my job was to see how many rounds I could fire through them barrels before the barrel melted and bullets didn't go straight, they just go every which way.
What kind of machine guns? M60s?
They're 50 calibers.
50, so the Ma Deuce, the M2?
There's 6 of them.
Oh, a 6-barreled one.
Barrel rings.
So a Gatlin one.
Mounted in the back with
belt fed, just in little butterfly triggers with finger deal like hell like this.
Yeah, I was gunner.
Okay, so you got to sit up there and just run this thing until it melted to see how long it would take.
Yep.
So everybody wants to know, I'm sure, how long did it take and what happened?
Well, usually about 30 minutes, if you got 30 minutes.
30 minutes worth of rounds.
You're holding trigger down on that machine gun, and you constantly, you got a guy standing down there on the ground with these deals with bullets in them
Lincoln ammo.
that go through there and go across, you know.
Those belt-fed ammo links.
Yeah, belt fed, and those things was. I forget how many of them it would go through there in a minute. I mean, firing. I'm sitting down here in this with my hand on two triggers, and when I pull them damn machine guns start, you can see them going for a mile across there. Them bullets, you know, tracers.
Yeah.
I think every sixth bullet was a tracer, and they'd probably fired, they'd far well over 100 a minute bullets.
I'm sure if it was a 6-barrel Gatling.
It would get hot down there and just sit
Well,
down.
especially with tracers too, those would heat up the barrel faster.
Yeah.
So it ran for 30 minutes before those barrels started detonating, just coming apart, or before the rounds started getting loose and going all over. Were they? I assume they were glowing.
It's at least 30 minutes. Sometimes I don't know, you'd get hot in there.
Was it an enclosed?
No, we was in the back of this truck,
Deuce and a half.
and then had this outside,
Canvas top.
yeah, it had the big high
Okay, the
deal
sides.
around it, you know,
Yeah.
and it was hot anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Just
get
the
out
bed
there
of
in
the
that
truck.
desert.
Got it.
In the summertime, you don't have no wind blowing. It's just hot.
Did you have safety glasses on?
Yeah.
Did you
Supposed
feel?
to have.
Did you feel like that you're supposed to have?
I took that off every once in a while.
Did you have hearing protection in?
I tell you, it was something.
Did you have hearing protection when you was doing that?
Oh yeah, you had to. Yeah, you had to get something in the ears. It was loud.
So when you're running this gun and you see it, it's glowing, I imagine, right? The
Yeah.
barrels are all glowing.
Yeah.
The bullets start just going all over the place.
Well, the barrels start turning red.
So they start turning red, and then you stop.
Yeah, when it starts turning red, they know the rifles are gone.
Okay, gotcha. Once they're nice and red,
Yeah,
take them. You're done.
yeah,
And that took about 30
yeah.
minutes of
When you
constant.
see them bullets, when the barrels start melting, you'll see a bullet going over here and they're red.
But you don't see the barrels actually drooping.
No, they going out, but they don't just go crazy. They just like go anywhere.
Do you feel very safe? I guess you're in the best spot on the backside of it, as long as it doesn't.
Yeah, you're sitting down there. I was sitting down inside. All I could do is see out and see where my gun was pointed, and you couldn't look around you like that to see anything.
So you is in one spot. Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you got deployed there? So you went through basic. You got to the end of basic. You catch papers for pump. You deploy. What happens? Where do you go from there?
And then the fun part was all these guys I heard griping every day because they couldn't get out of here, wanted to go back overseas. And Bud Griffith got notice to go overseas. And so the guy, so why'd you do, how'd you do that? I said, hell, this is Army. You don't know what they're going to do or who's going to do it.
Needs the Marine Corps.
And so I didn't know if we was going to go to Vietnam or where we was going.
So
And
Vietnam was going on. Korea had just ended.
so he sent me to Okinawa. and I still had a year to go in the military.
So you'd been in for how long when you got orders to go to Okinawa?
A little over a year.
A little over a year, and you had a 2-year enlistment?
Yeah.
And so Okinawa was the only place you deployed to? You didn't go to Korea?
They could send me anywhere they wanted to.
Well, they could have. I'm saying you weren't in Korea, though.
No.
Okay.
But see, one reason I went to Okinawa is they got one of the biggest Air Force bases over there they've got in the United States or in the world. And we were getting a threat from Formosa. This is right after the war ended in Korea. Now, Formosa is not far from Korea, but it's closer to Okinawa. And they were threatening to blow up that base over there. We had one of the biggest bases in the world over in Okinawa.
What was the base name? Do you remember?
Huh?
What base was it?
I don't remember what the name of it was.
All right.
But it's been too many years, Chris. But I had a good time on Oklahoma.
So a bunch of friends of mine were in Okinawa on a couple of the Marine Corps bases, and I'm sure some of the Army guys that'll watch this too. What was it like in Okinawa, and what year did you get there? What was it like? Tell me all about Okinawa as you experienced it.
Well, let's see. I went in the Army in 1953, and I was in Oklahoma from 54. I went over in 54, and I got out of the military in 55. Got discharged. And anyway, we had gun free over 2 or 3 times. Formosa to the plane over, usually about 12 to 2 o'clock in the morning. And we'd go out gun free, you know. We're ready to start blasting them area.
Gun free, you might get to finally do something.
Yeah. So, whenever they'd send a couple of jets up there, the planes got out of there.
Yeah.
And we'd get up, you know, they got us up 2 or 3 mornings, you know, about 2 o'clock in the morning or sometime like that. You didn't know what was going to happen. You just, but I enjoyed Okinawa.
So when you were over there and getting up for all of that, you were on one of those 50 cal, 6-barrel 50 cals?
Yeah.
Air defense, basically, but
Well, I went out to the gun range. There's woods around the airport, and I had been out there. Well, let me go back. After we got out of basic at El Paso, well, it kind of got kind of slack, and I had a little time. So I had never did get to take typing in high school. So I decided to sign up for typing school. And I went to typing school over in El Paso and got my typing certificate, and went to Okinawa, went out, got a job out the boondocks, went out there and was going to protect that airport. And I'd been out there about 2 days, and here come this student and a half out there. Load up your stuff, Griffith, you're going back to camp. I said, oh, shit. I liked it out there, and I said, what am I going to do at camp? And they said, you're going to be our typer at the man, I'm getting where I can't remember nothing, Chris.
headquarters or whatever, something like that, or
Where do you get your clothes and all that? What's it called?
gear-ish. We called it IPA or CIF, Consolidated Issue Facility is what we called it, I think. But they also had some other admin things where you got different things. So, but like your disbursement, clothing.
Anyway, I wound up being a clerk out there for 10 months till I got ready to come home.
So you get trained on shooting a 6-barreled 50 cal, and then you end up on a typewriter.
Yep.
Paul, I believe that is a military story as long as the day is old, I think. I bet you there's guys in the Roman infantry that were like, and then I got stuck making tablets.
Yeah, I got out as corporal. I had 4 tags.
So E4, corporal?
Yeah, E4. Yep.
Was that very important in the Army back there? Did you have much authority?
Pretty good job when you've got 2 years is all you had.
Yeah.
But anyway, me and Sarge was up there and running down where everybody got their clothes and all that stuff. But we got along real well. But we had a first sergeant out there. I think he hated himself. He was something else.
Really? Well, another thing the Marine Corps sounds like it shares, that first sergeants seem to be oftentimes angry at life. Right?
I think that's the way this guy was. He's mad at everything.
Yeah.
And I know he told us the night I was supposed to leave to come home that next day, and we all got the night off. And he said some guys didn't want to come home because they fell in love with them damn Oklahoma gals over there and got married and might even have a baby. And they couldn't bring their wife back to the United States. So, hell, there's some of them went AWOL and everything else. But then anyway, the night before we left, we had there's a bunch of going something was going on and within a deuce and a half, and that first sergeant come out there and he said, I tell you what, now, nobody that goes on this trip tonight better be here to get on that ship tomorrow, or said you may not be going home for a long time. And it meant he's going to send your ass to stockade. So I was ready. I forgot to give him a damn deal to get to go downtown.
Liberty
And
check.
if anybody don't turn in your deal when you get back, he said, you might not be going home anyway. And I forgot mine.
Oh,
And we was all on I couldn't give it to him that day. And there's about 20 of us, I guess, coming home. And I looked in my pocket and I had that damn thing. I was afraid to give it to him because I probably wouldn't get to come home. And man, I just knew I just wanted to get out of there.
yeah.
And finally, we got out. And boy, when I got to that ship, I was happy. Because that damn first sergeant was mean. He'd probably put me in the stockade.
So you didn't fly to Okinawa. You were on a ship on the way to Okinawa.
Going and coming.
What kind of ship was it?
I was on the Marine Adder going over there, and it was we went out, shipped out from Washington.
Washington?
State, yeah.
So would they bus y'all up to Washington?
Yeah, we busted Washington. Stayed out there about 2 weeks before we got to go to Okinawa. But we went around the East Coast, and it was rough, God. We was on a little ship called the Marine Adder.
Oh, you said East Coast. You meant Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
Oh, I
No,
thought you...
Washington State.
Okay, and so you went down the
We shipped
coastline
out
to
of
go...
Washington State.
Okay,
yeah.
got sorry. All right, got you.
Yeah. And then we took 14 days to get over. And I mean, it was rough all the way. And this buddy of mine, he got sick the first day we was out there, and I thought he was gonna die. I mean, he was sick all the way over nearly. And I never did get, there was a lot of them was hanging over the side of the boat now, and I never got seasick.
How big of a ship was it?
It's called Marine Adder, and it was a battleship, really.
Battleship?
Yeah.
So not real big.
It wasn't that. It was about a half as long as the one I come back on.
So battleships, what, like size of a football field? A little bigger? Lengthwise?
No, I'd say it was, oh, hell, I don't know, probably, it's probably close to 200, 250 foot
Okay.
across,
So-
length.
Crossing blue water, that thing moves around a lot. I was on a little bit, not that small of a ship, but some smaller ships and some rougher stuff, and those things get to rocking. We had a bolt that we hung from a string that we wrapped around another bolt. String was about that long, and it was faced like this on the bulkhead where the racks were.
Yeah.
And then right here was the bench where we had like a picnic table, metal picnic table, for a berthing on the ship that had, it was very back of the ship, noisy. It was where they checked fuel. It always smelled like diesel. And the only way you knew the air conditioner was working is if it was squealing so loud that you didn't hear nothing else. But on this bulkhead, we had this bolt, and so it would swing and it would measure the side-to-side pitch, basically. And so on that deployment, we was on that for 6 months on that one. We called it the puke-o-meter. And when you puked, however high that bolt was swinging to, you got a line drawn and your initials put there. And I never had a mark put on it either. I got seasick. It wasn't seasick though. It was air sick on a helo one time though, flying with it's 100 foot off the ground evasion route. And I got air sick, not puking, but you ever get motion sick, you know what I'm talking
I had a
about.
bunch of old boys I thought was gonna die. I mean, they got so damn sick and they hung off that rail all day and nearly every day.
If they was lucky enough to make it outside, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How good did that berthing smell inside that ship of steel with a bunch of people puking?
I know what, we were downstairs sleeping in your bunk.
Were you on the top rack or the bottom? Where were you at on the racks?
I was about two beds up.
Okay, so you weren't on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's good. But you had somebody above you or two above
Oh
you?
yeah, I think it's 4 or 5 high.
4 or 5 high?
Yeah. Pretty damn high.
And everything's metal. You've got a cot, but everything
Yeah.
else is metal, right?
Yeah.
Did you have a rifle rack beside your bunk?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay. One more question. When the seas were really rough, but everybody was in bed, what happened?
A lot of people got sick and climbed out of that bed and throwing up before they got out. It wasn't fun.
How many of them got thrown out of the racks into the floors because of the pitching?
Well, I don't really know because I never did get sick on the ship. I don't know how I kept from it. Just looked at people that were sick.
Did anyone ever fall out of the rack because the boat was rocking so hard?
I don't remember if I did.
Okay. We had that happen a lot. And it was not fun because everything's metal.
Yeah, I know it.
We'd take our belt,
I'm as,
our web belt, you know.
yeah.
You'd sleep in your cami pants when it was rough, and you'd run that web belt through 2 loops on your side, and then you'd run it around that rifle rack, and then cinch it down. That way you hung before you flew out of the bed. Because there were some of those times in those storms, and I mean, if it was in the daytime, it was easier.
Yeah.
But at nighttime, you had to have a plan because it hurt coming out of the racks. So was the food real good on your ship? You get steak and T-bones and stuff every night?
I don't think so.
What'd y'all eat?
I don't even remember, Chris. I guess we got something to eat out of
Bad food seems to be a common experience in the military too.
But
So
that ship, I went over on the water, it was rough all the way. Seemed like it just like this all the time. Go way up and then it'd fall in, you know. Now the ship I came back on, it was like cozy. Man, it's called it's a big ship. A lot of civilians were on it coming back. They're down on the bottom deck and we was up on top deck.
how many people on the whole ship, on the second one, the big one?
Oh God, I bet there's 400 or 500 people on it.
Okay, so the ship was probably 500-600 foot long? Say a football field.
That damn ship, yeah, it was pretty close to it.
Okay.
It was big, and it was good. Coming back, it was smooth sailing.
Do you know what kind of ship it was? Was like, so I was on one that had stuff that could flood the well deck and stuff would come into it, an amphibious assault ship.
I don't know what the name of the ship was.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of y'all on it. It was a lot nicer than when you was on that battleship.
Oh yeah.
So that battleship, though, it does sound like all the time y'all were in the waves, it had to stay and it kept to where its face was going into the waves all the time.
See, we come back southern route and it was
Smooth.
sailing. We get to see a lot of whales and stuff, and the fish would follow that ship. You know, it was a lot of civilians were on that ship coming back. They were down.
What were the
deck
civilians
below
on the
us.
ship for?
Huh?
What were they on the ship for?
They've been on vacation.
They've been on.
Japan.
So
Yeah,
it was
we
a
come
military ship, but it was taking back military and civilians.
Well, now I'm not sure the ship we came back on was a military ship.
Okay. That might have been why it was nice and you remember it being nice.
It was quite a ride. I mean, we spent time out on deck a lot. And me and this kid was good buddies, and we went on that ship. We'd been working, we'd been in the army. We was go home, get out of the military, and we decided we wasn't working coming back. See, they'd put most of the guys to work. And
Mess duty or something like that.
we got back and me and Billy Havens, me and him teamed up with best buddies. Each day we'd decide what we was gonna do. We'd go up the top deck and watch the big fish and everything and just have a good time. I guess we'd been on that ship about 3 or 4 days coming home, and one day they started said, who are you? I said, my name's Griffith. And he asked, Billy says, who are you? He said, I'm Billy Haynes. And they said, well, where in the hell y'all been? We said, we were coming up deck and watching the fish most of the time. He said, we've been trying to find y'all for 2 or 3 days now. And I said, you're supposed to be working some. And I said, well, we decided we'd go try to get out of it.
So y'all had intentionally gotten out of duty. You hid out or somehow whenever they was calling roll or assigning it to start?
We didn't do shit. They put us on the detail.
Listen,
That
getting
day-
lost on the roster is some of the best time you'll spend in the military of any type.
Yeah.
When the roster forgets that you are, you get a little bit of a...
Oh, we had a good time coming back.
What all did you do in Okinawa? Was it like not even just military? What was neat about the people, the culture, the town, the things you ate, the saw, all those things?
Like I said, I spent most of my time over there in the well, I'll be damned.
The place you use a typewriter that you keep trying
Yeah,
to...
the place.
I don't blame you for trying to forget that.
Well, I have been trying to get it. But I spent most of my time in that down there. Everybody got their clothes from me and my sergeant.
Yeah. Clothing
We'd
issue.
order the clothes.
Yeah.
And that old first sergeant that hit the meanest guy I think I ever met. I know that one old boy used to come in there and come in there to get something. And that old sergeant didn't like him because he was dirty. He'd have a dirty uniform.
Yeah.
And that sergeant, he come in there one morning and he had signed up for 3 more years. And they gave him a 30-day leave to come home. Well, he came home, spent his 30 days, then he come back, and his clothes was filthy. That first sergeant come in and seen him, and he says, come here, come over here. He said, you're a disgrace to the damn military. He said, I'm gonna take you back here in the damn back and we're gonna talk. Yeah. He took it back there and where people take dirty clothes, get them laundered.
Mm-hmm.
He took back in there, and me and little Sarge is sitting out there. You hear everything. And he slapped the shit out of that guy. Had him crying. He said, I'm going to put you in for you to put 6 months on the damn guard. He said, anybody as damn dirty and filthy you are in the military, he said, you don't need it.
Unsat.
You don't.
Nasty.
You're nasty.
Just a nasty. We had those too.
Huh?
We had nasties too. Never kept their hair cut. Their uniform was sloppy, wasn't pressed. Their shave wasn't good.
Yep.
Boots wasn't shined. Did you have to shine boots?
Yeah, I damn sure did.
So
Many times.
I didn't have to do the whole boot shining when I was in a whole lot. When I was in my school for a period, like in boot camp, we had the brown boots that you saw me have for a long time. This kind of rough leather. But when I was in my schools, and because it was avionics and you had to have steel-toed boots, they were those black leather boots that have that leather patch on the toe. And that toe had to glow. I mean, you know what I say when you better be able to see a piece of stake stuck between your teeth 4 foot off the ground, right? They had
Yeah.
to, so tell me about what you did to get your boots, because y'all had to shine a lot more than just the tips, I think.
I don't know. I never did have them as shiny as some of them people did,
So you was a bit of a nasty too.
I tried to keep mine clean.
So not too nasty.
No, not real nasty.
But you weren't one of the motivators that was always just over the top. Everything had to be.
No. I knew I was getting out, Scriptures.
Yeah, you was a short timer. You got drafted and you was ready to go home and meet
Yeah.
Nana. Or you already knew Nana, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You didn't even know Nana yet. And Nana was what? At this point, Nana was in first grade?
I met her, well,
That was a joke.
Claudine and Mary went in the same grade at school, and they got to be best friends. And I guess she come out the house quite a bit and all. And I liked her, but hell, I just always looked at her as Claudine's friend, you know. And so anyway, how I ever got to go out with her, well, I had a little wreck with my damn car.
You did?
Yeah. And I worked up at the mill, and I started pulling out of the parking lot one morning. One old boy was running late and coming down the road about 30 miles an hour, and I just started to pull out and bumped him. Well, it didn't do a whole lot of damage to my car, but I had a Ford car, and it wasn't but a year old.
So it was a brand new car you got when you got out of the service?
Yeah.
Did you buy it brand new?
Yeah.
Was it the first car you ever bought?
First car I ever bought.
And it was brand new?
Hell, I wouldn't. Let's
So
see.
this would have been 56 or 55 year?
Yeah, that would have been I believe that was a 56.
So it was a 56, you got out in 55, bought that in
Ford.
56.
I can't even think the damn name of the Ford now. It was a certain name for Ford had a name for like a Mustang, and
Oh, it was like a sports car style.
yeah, kind of. It was just 6-cylinder though, but it'd go.
Okay. So your first car, you got it. Do you remember how much you paid for it or what the payments were on it?
I'll give what I give for that car, Chris, but it was. I doubt if it was over $1,000, and it was a damn beautiful car, I thought.
Well, how much did you make when you were in the military?
about around $100
A month?
month. Yeah.
$100 a month.
I thought it seemed like that for us. It might not have been 100, but it's close to it.
Was it the F-100 Custom Fairlane? One of those?
Yeah. That looked a little like it right there. No, mine had the chrome that come one piece that come down the door.
Swap through here this
The
way,
middle.
and you can look at a few pictures of them and see if any of those look similar. And you can just keep going that way with it.
Seemed like I wanted to say Granada.
Granada? Hold on, let me pull that up.
My God, that was way back there, Chrissy.
Oh, I know. I'm just kind of curious. So anyway, so you got back. Oh, is this it right? Well, 56. Thanks. 66. Ford, hold on a second. This ain't it, I don't think. No, that was a later car. Okay, so you got your first car. It's less than $1,000. You want to say, did you pay cash for it?
No, I paid it out.
Okay, so you're making payments on it. Was it a Ford Fairlane?
Fairlane.
Fairlane?
Fairlane 500, I think.
Fairlane 500, okay. Was it a convertible or hardtop? Was it a convertible or a hardtop?
No, it was just hard top.
Okay. I'm going to see if this is it here. This is a town sedan. Was it the town sedan? No, I don't think that was it. Hold on. Well, I'm not sure here. So look at some of these pictures. Let me turn this up here. Go up here, we'll go to pictures. Look at some of those.
There ought to be a picture of it, isn't there? I think it's a 55.
I'm just kind of
I think
curious
I
what
bought
it
it
was.
the same year I got it.
Well, I know how much you've always liked cars, and so I'm sure it's your first car, having just bought it, not been very old, and then wrecked it. I imagine you weren't too happy.
The wreck was just a little damage right there on the headlight.
Yeah.
It didn't cost me much to get it fixed.
Yeah. All right, so you wrecked the car into who?
I don't even know his name. It's this guy late for work. I just started to pull out, and he was going too damn fast trying to get, not being later. But anyway.
So how did that lead to meeting Nana?
Well, Mary and Nana was in the same grade at high school.
Who was?
Huh?
Nana and who?
I mean,
Claudine?
Mary and she run around with Claudine.
Okay.
Okay.
And Claudine, your sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, Mary went to work at a little restaurant over at Howe, Texas. And I used to go in there, and I never did think about dating or anything. And
You were 23, 22, 23?
yeah, I guess I was about probably 23, 24 when I met Mary.
And how old was Mary when you met her?
She probably was 16.
So is that why you didn't think much about dating her?
I didn't even think about dating her.
Did 20-year-old men date 16-year-old women back then? Was that common?
I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, Mary she got to come out the house and with Claudine, and hell, I run around with 2 or 3 different girls anyway. I never paid no much attention. And then, well, that's when I had that little fender bender, and Virgil was fixing it for me.
Oh, Virgil was the guy who fixed it for you. Did
Yeah.
you know Virgil before that?
Oh, yeah, me and him was friends.
So you knew Nana's brother, Virgil, and y'all had been friends, so you known Nana for a long time. From before you went into the military?
I knew most of the whole family, but
Before you went into the military, even?
yeah, before.
Okay.
But anyway, where was I at?
Sorry I interrupted you. Virgil was the one that was fixing your vehicle.
Yeah, he was fixing my headlight, And I was home, and Mary had come out and spent the night with Claudine, and she was going with a kid named Arbor something. He had a convertible Chevrolet, and they was going to go up Lake Texoma and go swimming. And Claudine said, "What are you going to do, bud?" I said, "I don't know, hell, I'll do something." And she said, "Well, won't you go with us?" So I said, "Well, I'd like to go swimming with you." So we went to Texoma, and me and Mary sitting in the back, coming back. And I never did try to love on her, smooch her or anything. And we got back home, and then, I don't know, something come up, and we had to go somewhere, and Mary went, and I just kind of noticed her then, you know. She was probably about 16 then. And so anyway, I don't want to even ask her for a date. But anyway, I asked her for a date, and Claudine got madder than old hen. She wouldn't even talk to me for a week. And so anyway, we got going out every now and then, you know, just go get something to eat or something and drive in. And hell, I don't know, I just got attached to her. And she did me, and hell, I knew her daddy real well. He owned the gas station there. And one day I was going to town with somebody else, and I need to change the oil in my car. And I told him, I said, "Well, we'll just go down to Beta Fox's gas station, and I'll leave it down there to him." So we pulled in down there, and I said, "Adolph," I said, "you think you got time to change the oil in this thing today?" He said, "Yeah, I'll get to it after a while." He said, "What are you going? How long you gonna be?" I said, "We're going to Sherman." I said, "We'll probably be back about 4 o'clock." It was about 1 then. So we got back from Sherman about 3:30. Shitty had the car back out there in front of the station. Had it all wiped, shined all up, you know. And he was polishing it when I stopped. I said, "Adolph," I said, "I just wanted you to change the oil. I didn't know."
Mechanics trying to upsell you.
Wash your car and clean it up like you have. And he said, "Oh, it's all right. I had some time. Didn't have nothing to do, so." So then, we just kind of started going to each other back and forth. And so
he was there changing your oil while you was taking his daughter, Nana, to town.
Well, she wasn't with me then.
Okay.
And
I was just trying to imagine that picture.
no, she was probably going to school then.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
So anyway, Nita and Happy owned that store cafe she worked at. And I met them, and they're good people. And Mary and I had been down to their house a time or two, you know, and just visit. and they had always had something interesting to do. And anyway, they went on vacation, and Mary went with them. And they were gone for about a week, and that was the longest week I ever seen. And they got back home, well, you know, we got kind of serious then, you know. And so I told Mary, I said, you know, I never did think about getting married again, or marriage, period. But I don't know. I don't know what you think of me, but I'm about ready to settle down. She said, well, I love you. And so anyway, we went down to her house and talked Adolph, and I was about 10 years older than Mary. And I said, Adolph, what do you think about having me for a son-in-law? He said, oh, hell no. And I said, well, many daughters, we love each other. And I said that I had never thought about getting married, and I'd really like to see Mary go ahead and get her diploma. And she said, well, I'd get that diploma anytime. So anyway, we decided to get married, and I'd done pretty good. I'd worked a mill. After we started talking about getting married, well, I started saving my money, and we rented a place up there in Sherman, and I done bought living rooms too, and I don't know what all. We moved in there. The big house, and one old lady lived on one side of us, and another old lady lived on the other side, and we lived in the middle. And they treated us like they had their mamas.
And I bet you took care of them both.
We did. We lived there about a year. And I was working there at the meat cotton mill in Sherman, and they put me on the night shift. And I got to go out there in the morning to go home. Mary'd be in the back seat asleep. And I said, I don't like that, you know. Young girl go out and get in the car and go to sleep. Somebody might wake them up in the side.
Would she just miss you, or was she worried about you falling back into old habits?
No, she was scared, saved herself at
Oh,
night.
okay. Well, that is Nana, yeah.
So I found her about the second or third time back in the car, and I said, this ain't gonna work. So I went in and talked to my supervisor. I told him, I said, I'm gonna have to do something. I said, my wife's coming down there at night, walking. There's about half a mile out of our house. And I said, I don't let her sleep out there in the car by herself at night. And he said, well, give me a little time. I don't want to lose you. And first thing he said, he come in and talked to me about a day or so after that. And he said, Bud, you lucked out. Said Miss So-and-so is gonna retire. And said she's working first shift. He said, if you want that job, you got it. So I got on the first shift, I worked there about 7 years.
Let me know. You good now? All right, so we were talking about your military service. We took a break.
Yeah, pretty good.
This was yours.
Good, huh?
That was your name in there. That was Griffith. You can't hardly see it anymore, but look.
Yeah.
You recognize it?
No.
Down here.
Yeah.
You can't hardly read it anymore, but
it's
you recognize that?
out. Where'd you get these?
From Nana. You recognize that?
Yep.
What is it? Matches these right here.
Where I'm at, it looks like a part of a ship.
Matches these right here too.
Yeah. Sure does.
Yeah, well, let me see what it is. It is it's definitely a ship. This. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I keep it all together the way I'd like to. I need to have this all put into a shadow box, which is on the agenda.
How long's it been since you had that out? Yeah.
Here, let me do this right here, though. Sorry, hold on. This isn't proper. What is that, Pop? What are those patches? Set it in your lap here. You tell me. I know what that is. I have one of those. That's a National Defense ribbon. You got that because you served during the wartime.
I could tell you what all those are.
I could look them up and tell you in just a moment. But this is your uniform. Look, Griffith.
Well, where did you get that uniform?
Look, here, right here, look. G01,
Who had it?
G0158 something. What is that? G01. Is that your handwriting? I bet it is. Hell,
Well, it
we
could
all
be.
We all had to write on our stuff in the back of our things. That's how I knew to look here.
Yeah.
The military doesn't do anything new. All right, so that was your number, right? This is your uniform. Let me fix this.
Well, where did you get it?
Nana gave it to me a while back, Pop. I've had it this whole time.
Really?
Yeah, I saved it. I'm going to put it in one of those glass boxes called a shadow box. These are your ribbons. This is your rank. You're a corporal.
Well, I wouldn't have thought that would have been in existence anymore.
This patch, looking at it, that's something you got from Okinawa service.
Yeah.
Looking at the Oriental side of it.
Yeah.
This, I imagine, some sort of ship service pin that you get in the Army. And this was some sort of, y'all wore handkerchiefs around your neck, I guess?
Yeah, we had, you could wear them. Some people did and some people didn't.
What was, tell me about this.
I'll tell you the truth, Chris. I don't even remember this.
It's been that long?
How many years it been? I got out in 50.
It ain't summertime.
I got out in 55, so.
70 years ago.
Yeah. Well, when you get to be 90,
80.
you'll know that a lot of this stuff disappears from your brain.
Well, you wore it.
Yeah.
Your sweat's still in there. From when you served 70 years ago.
I never thought I'd see that again.
Well, you did.
I had no idea you had it.
That's your rank.
Yeah.
Your chevrons.
That's right.
I've got another one in my office. I should have pulled it down and brought it in here also. But in my office, I have Uncle Jim's shadow box. All of his awards, all of his ribbons, his uniform. I kept all of that too, Nana gave me. So I think all that stuff's pretty awesome, Pop. I think, honestly.
Well, you got all of our family reunion, too.
Yeah. I think military service, I mean, you can, well, that's what I was trying not to do. Military service matters, right?
Yeah.
You served because it was the right thing to do, and you know, people appreciate that sort
I
of
didn't
thing.
mind it.
I didn't either, because someone before me served.
That's right.
And it's my turn.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of family members, both sides, that served in the military at different times.
I didn't mind going because I didn't feel like I did better than anybody else that got drafted.
Yeah. Uncle Pete, he's a Marine. Henry,
Yeah.
Uncle Henry,
Henry, yeah.
he's a Marine. You knew him.
Yeah.
What was he like as a Marine?
I don't know how he was, but I met him pretty well.
Did anybody mess with Uncle Henry?
I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, Pop, we'll wrap up and be done with this, this recording today. But just honestly, all your service, I know you don't remember maybe all of it, but I appreciate it. It has a lot to do with why I chose to serve, and many other people choose to serve. And I think it's awesome that we still have this.
Well, I would have never thought that would still exist.
Well, imagine this. When all of this has literally eroded and disappeared, the stories that made this one significant, we got a lot of them. And we'll be able to capture those, and those aren't going to erode like this will. So that's what all this is. That's what's neat about all this, Pop. We get to tell you, you get to tell your story, and we all get to hear it, and a lot of people get to hear it for years. So thanks again for sharing it. It's neat. I'd learned a couple things. I didn't know Adolph had a gas station.
Oh, yeah.
So he's a business owner.
They had gas station, a place to work on cars. See, Virgil, later year, he done all my car work,
Yeah.
just about.
Well, I enjoyed it today. It's fun talking about your service. We'll be back next Friday.
Well,
Let's do it same time every
That's,
Friday.
that's amazing to me, Christopher,
What is?
to see this.
Well-
I didn't think that would be in existence today.
So you never know, Pop, what
Yeah.
is going to be important to the people
I
that
know.
come after you. That you're who you are is a part of who I am.
Yeah.
Why the hell wouldn't that be important to me?
Yeah.
Your service matters to me. I fight for all kinds of veterans as part of what I do. But even outside all that,
Yeah.
I think it's the right thing to do to serve, because I think liberty and freedom matter.
That sure does look little.
Well, you was what? You said $1.45? You was on little end is what we called it in the Marine Corps. You was at the back of the formation, always slowing everything down with your little... I'm just kidding.
I walked up front,
Oh, you was one of the squad leaders?
pretty damn close to the front.
Okay. But yeah, that was yours. And I'll keep it. I'll be keeping it for a long time, Pop, and I'm gonna put it in a display box that has a glass front, and I'll have it pressed, aligned. Uh-oh. I'll have to get maybe some new ones, because that just broke. Put that in the pocket. I'll have it fixed up though, because some of these older things are just coming apart now.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have it fixed up, and I'm gonna have it restored and put in a box so that I have all of your stuff.
That really amazes me to see that again.
Well,
I thought it would have been gone for years.
well,
That's great.
it's pretty cool when something lasts longer than you think it might, and it has more impact than you ever thought it would.
Well, that material's still in pretty good shape. Well,
Sure
Chris,
is, Pop.
I hate to run off, but we need to go by in the bank.
You're right.
Time we get in, you get back home, it'll be almost supper time.
So for all the people that make it this far, next week, we're doing this again, okay? They're gonna have questions for you next week, so to sign off, you got anything to say to the people that might be watching now, to our family that might watch later? How do you want to sign off your second episode of your story? Closing words.
Well, I hope everybody enjoys watching this as much as I've enjoyed making it. And without Chris, it wouldn't have happened.
You know what's fun is I heard you say making it, and I know you're trying to give us for credit for recording it, Pop, but here's the cool part. You had a lot of fun making the story. The story took 91 years for you to make. Now we're just talking about it. It's made, That's what's cool.
I
Anyway.
can't believe it, but it's